This movie is better than you may expect. Well, how much better than you expect? Well, better than The Running Man, potentially, if that's the criteria we're going to go by, which it proceeds. Reading our production information sourced from the Free Encyclopedia, the film was part of a cycle of dystopian science fiction films inspired by the popularity of films like George Miller's Mad Max and John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Following the release of these films, Italian cinema produced films such as Enzo G. Castellari's 1990 The Bronx Warriors and The New Barbarians, Ruggero Deodato's The Raiders of Atlantis, and Bruno Mattei's Rats, Night of Terror. The story for the film was devised by the husband and wife team of Dardano Sacchetti and Elisa Briganti. Fulci felt the story by Sacchetti was strong, but was not happy with producers' suggestions. Suggestions included adding skyscrapers to scenes where Fulci had envisioned a futuristic Rome covered by gigantic plexiglass domes. The production was originally planned to be part of a 2-film deal, with Fulci's next project to be Blast Fighter. Sacchetti explained that Fulci had an argument with the production and had been taken to court. The title of the film had been sold and they were no longer able to use the script, which led to Blast Fighter having a title but a completely different story, and directed by Lamberto Bava instead, actually. The completed script of Warriors of the Year 2072 was edited further by Cesare Frigoni and Fulci himself. The film would mark the last time Sacchetti would work with Fulci. Fulci claims Sacchetti had stolen his idea for a film to be titled Evil Comes Back. Sacchetti denied these allegations, stating that Fulci was originally excited over his drafts and had it read to a producer who commissioned him for a script. The film would later be made by Lamberto Bava, also under the title Until Death. That came out in 1988. It was made for television. And now I'm going to read out 2 slightly older IMDb reviews. By slightly older, I mean from like 2006 and 2008, respectively. Firstly, from Woody Anders. This is on 28th of August 2006. Lucio Fulci is very cool and interesting futuristic sci-fi/action flick. He's given it 8 out of 10. Framed for the murder of 3 guys who killed his wife by an all-powerful megalomaniacal master computer, Nice Guy reigning blood-bike champion Drake, the ruggedly appealing Jared Martin, is forced to engage in a ferocious only one winner allowed mass-televised old Rome-style gladiatorial combat game called The Battle of the Damned. It offers just the right amount of nasty and copious real-life bloodshed the jaded future TV audiences need in order to get their violence fix. Whipped into fierce fighting shape by a sadistic trainer Raven, a robustly evil Howard Ross, and befriended by a token compassionate chick Sarah, the lovely Eleanor Gold, Drake has to mix it up in lethal combat on elaborately made-up motorcycles with a savage bunch of barbarians who include Al Cliver as a scruffy ape, Hiruiko Al Yamanuchi as a feral mohawked chop-socky demon, and almighty blaxploitation badass Fred the Hammer Williamson as a cool, composed, cocky, and swaggering smooth dude. A most uncharacteristic and self-criticizing sci-fi/action picture departure by famed Italian horror movie specialist Lucio Fulci, this suitably violent and gory outing offers a barbed, cynical, corrosive commentary on the bloodthirsty gorehound viewers who enjoy watching Fulci's gruesome fright features by showing a bleakly amoral futuristic society where warring TV stations try to score high ratings by broadcasting excessively brutal and barbaric fare like The Danger Game, a particularly gross simulated atrocity offering which crassly caters to the lowest common denominator by going heavy on the Mondo fake blood spilling. Fulci co-wrote the acrid, biting script with frequent screenwriter Dardano, Zombie, The Beyond, Sacchetti, Cesare Frigoni, and Elisa Briganti. Riz, Don't Torture a Duckling, Cannibal Holocaust, Ortolani supplies a booming, wildly wailing, hard-grooving, goblin-esque score. Joseph Pinori's gaudy, luminescent, loud, bright, colour-saturated cinematography gives the film a garishly ornate, glittering, dazzling look that's in equal parts fluorescent Christmas tree lights glow and blinding pinball machine arcade high-gloss sheen. Fulci stages the kill bike sequences of wide, heart-racing gusto with guys astride motorcycles, slicing and dicing each other with swords, lances, spiked clubs and hammers. Unique in its genre due to its pointed, self-recriminating exploration of using violence as a cheap, titillating device and an obvious precursor to The Running Man, this funky item makes for a refreshingly unusual and oddly thought-provoking addition to the sci-fi/action genre. And yes, from Coventry on the 22nd of January 2008, another 8 out of 10. Lucio Fulci is bigger than Caesar. I bet the almighty Lucio Fulci didn't half realise back in 1984 how progressive and visionary the concept of his film would become. Sure, the idea of recruiting death row prisoners as futuristic gladiators and broadcast their battle to live and deaf live on television is still extremely grotesque, but the underlying and less obvious themes of the new gladiators, like the appalling formula of reality TV and the always increasing quest for sensationalism, were way ahead of their time. This film is one of the numerous futuristic exploitation ventures that were released in the early 80s, all of them with the intention of cashing in on the huge success of John Carpenter's Escape from New York. All these movies are incredibly violent, feature grim sets and flamboyant effect, and oh yeah, for some reason they practically all star Fred Williamson. I think Fred actually lived in between the decors and on the sets of low budget Italian flicks back in then. Anyway, Fulci naturally had to participate in this profitable sci-fi action trend, and it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that his effort is one of the coolest and most sadistically violent of the entire bunch. In their search for the ultimate crowd-pleasing TV show, slick studio bosses come up with the brilliant idea of reviving the ancient Roman spectacle of gladiator fights. Death row prisoners from all over the world are recruited to fight in the arena to the death, and just because every show does better with a celebrity on board, the vicious TV station's owners frame a popular stunt bike rider with murder, just so that he can be put in the battle as well. But with Drake as their leader and the help of a cute and caring computer expert, the gladiators fight back. Awesome, undemanding, and adrenaline rushing entertainment from Maestro Fulci, the new Gladiators offers a spitfire of explosions, macho showdowns, squeaking bike tires, decapitations, laser beams, and revealing manly skirt outfits. Riz Ortolani delivers one of the best scores of his career, perhaps even second only to his work for Cannibal Holocaust, and Fred Williamson remains the male role model for utter coolness, despite the fact he plays his supportive role on automatic pilot. And ought to be noted, the Blu-ray transfer of this film is far superior. Watching this on VHS, it probably would have seemed sloppy. DVD, again, probably not up to scratch. But these Blu-ray transfers are fantastic. We'll close it here. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it incredibly, immensely.